Hello everybody, my name is Nelson Hayes. I'm a civil engineering major at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. This is my Rural Alaska video project. Apologies in advance if I sound sick or congested. I've been having the sniffles for the past week. Without further ado, let us begin. The topic of this video is how does temperature affect Bristol Bay? To answer this, we're going to go over, what is Bristol Bay, where is it, how many people live there, what their economy is based off of, just to give everybody a general idea of what we're talking about. Then we're going to ask ourselves the question, why should Bristol Bay care about rises in temperature? Does it actually affect their everyday lives? To answer these questions, we're going to look at articles from NOAA and their native organization down there. And then we're going to end the video with a conclusion of all the information and a couple quotes that summarize everything. So what is Bristol Bay? Bristol Bay is this borough in Alaska. It is right in here. It includes a lot of different places. It's not, a city or a town. And it's got a, pretty small population, 800 to 900 people. It doesn't have any sort of, access to the main road system. They're all kind of by themselves, so it's pretty hard to get materials in there. They need to do a lot of barging. But Bristol Bay is actually the world's largest salmon fishery, which is pretty cool. They do a lot of commercial and subsistence fishing, which makes up a lot of their economy right there. The rest would be, seasonal employment, even to just support the fisheries. Just not all the people are on the boats. These are all Googleable facts. I do encourage you all to research this on your own. It's a pretty cool place to learn about. So why should Bristol Bay care? In 2019, their fishery was valued at $2.2 billion. $990 million of that stays within Alaska, and a large amount of that stays in their community, which is a huge economic boost. Approximately 15,000 jobs are supported by the fisheries in and out of Bristol Bay. All of that information came from this article right here. Ooh, that's a bad circle. But yeah, that's where it came from. They're a local news organization. But our next source here is a NOAA article. They do ocean research. Very, very good source for things like this. And they have these quotes. In Bristol Bay, the warming climate has led to a decline in the number of sockeye salmon, and depressed abundances of salmon create problems for fisheries and the people that depend on them. And really, I want to focus on the people that depend on them. With less fish, it will be hard to support as many jobs as they do. The economic evaluation and the money that stays with Alaska will dwindle if we lose our fish. So upon further analysis of the information we have, we're not only seeing decreased fish counts, but decreased fish length. That's what this graph shows us. It all is negative sloping length for these species right here. We got that from this article right here. This is from the Bristol Bay Native Organization. It's got a lot of observations, and they've all been put into very nice graphs for us. It also has a quote here that the king salmon's mean annual temperature has increased by 3.7 degrees over the past 60 years. King salmon is a place in Bristol Bay, just for clarification there. But we will hop on to this next slide here, and we can see that this is king salmon's graph here. It starts here at 1949 and it ends here at, what would that be, 2010, and it's positive sloping. So global warming, we're seeing an increase in temperature. And then here they have some predictions we have temperature up here and precipitation. This is the past, and then this right here is the future prediction. And you can see they're all, positive sloping increases in precipitation and heat. So what did we learn from all this? We learned that Bristol Bay is heavily reliant on salmon, both for their people and their economy. We learned that temperatures are on the rise and are predicted to keep going up, and that they negatively affect salmon counts as well as their health. And now the only question is, what do we do now? There are so many proposed solutions to these problems, but this video isn't really about that. It's about how it affects Bristol Bay. And these two quotes, I think, summarize the research I've done the best. The most comprehensive measure of climate change is the observations of people who live there, travel the trails, watch the weather, and harvest the food from the land and river. To this really just means climate change is what we experience it to be. The second quote reads, "Fish camp sits empty, fishing gear is not maintained, and younger generations are unable to learn the fishing and processing techniques that have been refined over thousands of years when there are no fish to be caught." This is more of a warning tale, just something to think about that could happen in the future. Just to finish off here, we have a summary of sources. The first one was from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It was a broad article that talked about all around Alaska, but the length chart that showed fish health was from that article. The next one was the Bristol Bay Native Corporation one. They had the projected temperatures for the future as well as the precipitations all increasing. And they also provided a lot of the quotes, such as the closing remarks and just observations from locals. And then the last one is KDLG, specifically Tyler Thompson was the one who wrote the article. And they did all of the employment stats and economic benefits. And that was that 2.2 billion and 990 million.